Welcome back. We're here after a little bit of a hiatus. This is Jake Carney.
Megan Harris here. So glad to be back. We have taken, we went on a summer vacation pretty much.
Yeah. What we did was we ran a pilot program. NBC came in and said, you guys do this podcast for 6 episodes, and if it's good, we'll bring you back. And if not, just pretend you were going on vacation and, just disappear.
We got picked up.
All for at least just one more episode.
That's right.
Because we will be taking one more break.
That's right.
Next week.
But then we will be back.
Yes.
For serious.
Because
we got to get back into it because then it is almost time for school to start.
Yeah.
So we got to,
And we should also tell you guys out there, this is live, right? So, and we live in South Florida, so we broadcast everything from outside. And you may actually hear some leaf blowers going on right now, but I think it's done.
Yeah, we've actually been testing it out. So there's a chance you guys aren't hearing anything and you think we're just crazy.
We're just crazy.
But we hear it, so we wanted you to know.
We actually hear it. But I actually don't use that because I actually use one of those push mowers with the spinning blades.
Yeah.
I do that for my lawn and
You're
everything.
old school?
Absolutely don't do that. But my grandparents had one of those, and it was cool to do it for but those things are heavy. They're literally 25, 30 pounds.
I have a story about a push mower that is going to fit into when I catch you guys up in my Alaska trip.
Oh, okay.
Colin had to use one when we were there.
He actually cut grass in Alaska.
I will explain all of it.
Perfect.
When it's my turn.
You're turning into me. You won't even bring things up when it's time.
I know. I barely wanted to speak to you today.
Yeah. So we actually have a really good show ahead of you today. I do want to say that we actually have our winners for the honey contest, and we'll be announcing them at the end.
All 3 of you. There were so many that submitted.
There were a lot. Absolutely. But then we have a new contest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about this one. So we will be giving away, and we're going to tell you how to do this in the middle of the show, but we're actually going to be giving away, I think, 2 Yeti coolers. These things are the cat's meow.
The funniest thing about it is that Jake actually texted me last night saying, talking about my boyfriend, Colin's going to be so jealous when he knows about the giveaway because he knows that Colin and I, when we go home, we listen to the podcast, we're always talking about how we want to make up a fake email address and win these gifts because you guys are really lucky out there, all of our listeners.
Yeah.
This is some good stuff.
If you're into camping, if you're into outdoor, if you just don't want to be in the house, this is awesome for you. Yeti coolers are one of these things. They're just awesome things. I actually have one. They keep ice cold extremely long. So if you're going on camping trips, tailgating, it's the summertime. Let's have some fun. Let's get outside in hot sun. And these coolers are the dope show.
They really are amazing. They're hardcore too. And
they're
you're like part of a club. If you see other Yetis.
Yeah, they are Grizzly rated. Literally.
Really?
There's a little sticker on there that says Grizzly rated. So what they do is they actually put it in front of a grizzly bear and see if the grizzly bear can get inside of it.
And can't?
It could not. No.
I have a grizzly bear story too.
Perfect. so keep listening, and we're going to be giving away 2 free Yeti coolers in the middle or end or 3/4 of the way through the podcast.
We'll just see how it goes.
We're going to see how things vibe out.
We just like to just vibe with it.
That's right.
Well, you start off.
Yes, because mine's boring compared to yours. So in our little hiatus, 2 to 3 weeks hiatus, it was my birthday, and then we also went to Disney. And then we also had July 4th celebrations and all this good stuff.
And Noah's birthday.
Yep, absolutely Noah's birthday, little American girl. But I actually treated myself to a birthday present in which I went fishing by myself. I did.
Nice.
Yep. So I just took me and my dog Lucy. We went out fishing, and it was really cool. We were out in the middle of the ocean. It was flat, beautiful blue, nothing around. And it didn't have the best day. I just caught 1 or 2 fish, but one of the first ones I actually caught. It's what's called an Atlantic bonita. And it looks just like a tuna. You almost get excited because you're like, oh, I caught a big tuna. And it's not. It's in the tuna family, but it's not the sushi tuna. And so the reel screaming bzzz, going out, and you're so excited. I'm sitting there screaming, excited, reeling it in. And I get it to about 20 yards, to the back of the boat, and I'm just kind of reeling. And I look down, and there's this big brown thing. I look down, and it turns out it's this 8-foot bull shark, just at the back of the boat. And it's this thing is nobody can see me now, but it's kind of if you're giving a really large person a hug, it's kind of
Huge.
really girthy, yeah. And so I could not put my arms around it, and it's just troll in the back of my boat. I'm that's so cool. So I'm literally so cool. And so I look to see where Lucy is because if she sees things, she wants to go after him. So I'm she's cool. She's just kind of watching me reeling in. I'm that's so awesome. So I go back to reeling in, and then I think, there's no way in hell I'm gonna get this fish back up to the boat. So I'm not kidding. Within 5 seconds of seeing it, it disappeared, and then it was like Shark Week. It was like boom, like it
Are
literally.
you serious?
It just kind of destroyed the top water. Took the, I think it was a bonita. Took the, just ate everything. Ate the tackle. Ate everything. And my rod, which was like really bent, just went bunk, gone. Like, and then after after that explosion, it didn't hang. It was like gone. It was like a big explosion in the water, and then that was it. I was like, oh my god.
That's so cool, but really kind of scary too.
It was 100% awesome to see. Because I wish I had video of it, because like
I wish you had video.
But I'm
of
by
it
myself, so I can't really be kind of like reeling, taking a video, worrying about my dog. But it was really really cool to see. It was and so that was kind of maybe nature's birthday present to me. I don't know. It was cool to see.
How appropriate, because it's also Shark Week.
It was Shark Week after that, which I don't endorse or watch or anything like that.
Either.
I spent a lot of time in the water, so I don't want to see all their hyped up, versions of sharks and stuff like that. So, but yeah, that was so that was cool. So then we had Noah's birthday, and mine was really, my past couple weeks were pretty low key compared to yours. So, Miss Megan, you fill us in. You actually went to the Great White North in Alaska.
I did. I went to the last frontier. So I was there for 12 days. I will try and keep it brief, but I did so much while I was there. Alaska's amazing. I really did not know much about Alaska. I was always joking that...
Now, were you posting pictures on Instagram for us? Or
I was posting pictures on the Alternative Daily Instagram.
So I apologize. I do not do that stuff.
I know, it's okay. You don't. That's why I'm here.
Cool.
I was posting a lot of photos, and I still have more. I keep remembering different things and going back and posting photos. So I flew to Anchorage with my boyfriend and his parents. Long way to go when you have to fly to Anchorage from...
Sorry, I'm just switching our coffees real quick, because this one doesn't have the honey in it.
Oh, great. Whatever you want to do.
You like yours dark and bold. I like mine a little sweet.
Light and sweet.
So sorry about that.
That's okay.
I'm sorry. Continue.
No, that's okay. So I went to Anchorage. My boyfriend has family that lives in Anchorage. So we flew there as sort of home base. And then from there, me and my boyfriend and his parents traveled up north to Denali, the national park up there. It's incredible. That's northern Alaska. So, I mean, it's very lush. There's lots of forests and mountains everywhere. We went into Denali. We took a tour into Denali, the actual national park, in these special buses.
Now, do people live in Denali? Is there...
People live in all of the little towns, right around it, but nobody lives actually inside Denali. Gotcha. Denali is one of the most protected parks in the world. So you think about a Yosemite or something like that. It's very protected, but there's still a lot of things that happen and go into it. In Denali, there's nothing like that. In fact, you can only drive 15 miles in, and then from there, you have to take these special buses. Mm-hmm. And the farthest you can go in is 80 to 100 miles, and that's just straight in.
The farthest you can go in.
The farthest you can go.
Only 800. Wow.
We went 60 miles in, on this specialized bus, and that was a 4-hour trip.
Wow.
4 hours there, 4 hours back.
Did you get car sick at all?
No. Well, no. I mean, people get scared because you go on these really windy roads and cliffs, and the buses are like magic school buses, kind of.
When I went to the Caribbean and we had to go from one island to the other, I could see where people would get car sick.
Yeah, my boyfriend's mom didn't really want to look out the window a couple times when we were literally hanging on a ledge, going off. But it's like being on a safari. So you're sitting in this bus and you're looking out at doll sheep and caribou and grizzly bears and moose, and you're literally just seeing it from your window. So that's really cool. And then we went on a hike.
Are you allowed to get out, or
not when the animals are there, because they're dangerous? There's no way to determine what they're going to do. But they do let you stop at all these different places and take pictures. And then we went hiking, and so that was awesome. And we actually stayed in a little place called Healy, Alaska, which is the first little town, if you can call it that, right outside of Denali. And there's a story about a guy named Christopher McCandless. It's a true story. It was made into a movie and a book called Into the Wild, about a guy that literally back in the 60s or 70s, once he graduated high school, he burned everything he owned, gave up all his money that he had made for graduation, and went to Alaska. And he died out trying to hike this trail in Denali.
Wow.
And it's a great movie and a book.
Did they find his body?
Or? They found his body. I stayed right near where he died, where his body was found. Okay. Well, the crazy thing is he died because people in Alaska, he's not somebody that they're proud of, because he really was kind of a stupid guy that didn't plan for how rigorous it is out there. We kept joking, the theme of our trip was that Alaska's not for sissies, because it is seriously, there's a lot. It's hard to live.
We shouldn't probably call him stupid in case any of his relatives.
People. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't want. But he was foolish.
Better term.
He wasn't stupid. He was foolish. But I mean, it's incredible because the point about what I'm saying is he died thinking he was in the middle of nowhere with nobody around. But the lodge that I stayed at had been there at the time, and he was only a couple miles from it. But that's how remote and isolated you can feel, even just looking around.
Emil Hirsch.
Played the actor.
Yes.
Yeah, played
Never
the
saw it,
character.
but I'm familiar.
Yeah,
Got it.
so Emil Hirsch is the actor who he plays Christopher McCandless in the movie
Gotcha.
version Into the Wild. So another cool thing about Alaska is right now in the summertime, it's like 20 hours of daylight.
Yeah.
And it's legitimately daylight. It's not, even when the sun does go down, it almost looks like how it looks here right before the sun rises, where it's starting to get bright, but it's still
So
dark.
it's not dark.
No, it never gets dark. But everywhere you go, there's like blackout shades. And it's amazing how easily your body does adapt to it.
Yep.
It's funny, and I'll say this joke again, when you're going to bed at night, it's so bright outside. So even if it's 11,
Like the street lights are on, you don't want to.
yeah, like it's just so bright out. So it's funny because you feel like you're being a slacker or something. You know, we would wake up every day at like 7 a.m., 8 a.m. to have adventures all day and do stuff. But then we wouldn't go to bed until 11:30, 12 at night because it's so bright out. You don't get tired as easily. So it sort of takes a lot of getting used to coming back and all of that. After we were in the north of Alaska, we went back to Anchorage to regroup, and then we headed south. So we went to Homer, which is by the water.
Okay.
And that was very cool. Me and Colin and his dad, we took a 6-seater Cessna plane. Somebody else drove it, of course. An hour out of Homer over like all these volcanoes, all these glaciers, all this stuff to this national park that's only accessible by boat or private plane. It's called Katmai National Park. We landed literally on the beach. I'll post some videos of this on the Alternative Daily Instagram. We landed right on the sand, and we went on a.
You just landed right on the beach from the.
Right on the sand, like completely, and we saw the grizzly bears. Like that's when I sent you those photos.
Yes.
We
Well,
literally.
it's because I actually texted you, said, you know what, how you doing out there, Mama Grizzly, and you sent.
And
me
I sent you back a
of-
grizzly
That
video.
was awesome.
It's so incredible to see grizzly bears like that. And yes, it's not a controlled environment because you're out in the wild. Anything can happen, but they are. It's very interesting. They are not aggressive unless you're aggressive to them. So they're just sort of
But
in
you
their
can't
own
go up there and
habitat.
pet them, can
No,
you?
the closest we got to them was about 40 feet.
Okay.
So we are pretty
Wow.
close. But you like it's very cool. I mean, it's really incredible. And you're in such a remote place. I mean, there's no service. There's no nothing.
Did you see them eat salmon or anything?
I saw them like getting food. I saw them digging for clams. I saw a little baby bear nursing on a mama bear. I saw like a male grizzly bear acting like the dominant to a female because it's right at the end of their mating season. I mean, it was incredible, the things that I kept seeing. That was definitely my favorite thing. Colin's favorite thing was we took a boat to Halibut Cove. We stayed on Halibut Cove. This is super rustic. I mean, we stayed in this amazing house of his aunt and uncle's friend. We were joking that the guy was like our uncle taking us to summer camp because it was this beautiful home, but it's rustic. We had no running water in the cabin that Colin and I stayed in. We all had to use an outhouse, which requires you to burn your toilet paper when you're done with it. So that takes some getting used to.
So how does that work? Talk to me about that.
I mean, for me, I was just like staying away from coffee and my green juice every day.
So like you literally did, they give you like matches? And
Yeah, so like it's a little outhouse.
Where do you, wait, no, I
No,
really
I
wanna
mean,
get
we can
details.
talk about
Yeah, let's do
this.
it. So you get done doing whatever you're doing. So whether you go,
And,
whether
like-
you're pooping or peeing,
Right, and
especially
then-
for the girl,
right.
So what do you do with it once you're done with your wipe? What do you do?
So this outhouse, it's like a really, really, really deep hole in the ground. Like I was sort of freaking out that it wasn't going to be such a deep hole. It's like a really, really deep, deep, deep hole. So what happens is, you're in an outhouse and it's like you sit on like this little thing that's got a cutaway or whatever. And they have it, toilet paper in a basket, just like you would in a nice bathroom, extra rolls and all that. And then just a box of matches. And so the guy that we stayed with just explained to us that when you were done, when you're as if you would throw that paper in the toilet and flush, instead just light a match and get it started. And obviously toilet paper will light up.
So you actually have to
away.
hold it and light it at the same time.
Yeah. And then drop it down.
Oh man.
Right. So that's why I was like, no black coffee.
I could probably go through
no
a lot
green
of
juice.
matches.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was intense. I mean, guys don't have, the guys that we were with, if they didn't have to use an outhouse for those purposes, I mean, you could just pee behind
peeing's easy. Yeah, peeing's easy.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously,
Being a
wasn't talking about peeing.
female, it's very difficult.
But even like wiping to pee isn't bad. It's just like when you have
Right,
to
when
poop
you have
and,
to
it's,
do
and it's
stuff.
messy. It's sometimes it's like got any more matches? Can you use a lighter so you don't have to go through all that stuff?
Yeah, Colin was practically starting a campfire every day. So it was really cool, though. I mean, it was a good experience. But
I'm gonna start doing that, and Jean's like, "What is that? What
I know.
are you doing?"
Well, the joke was when we were coming back that was like the only thing I liked about it was at least being able to like light something on fire every day. But it's so remote where we went that when we went out there, we had to bring everything. Like speaking of a Yeti cooler, we even had to bring our own ice. We had to bring our own eggs because there's no general store there. There's no nothing.
Yeah.
It's literally just you row up to your house or you take your boat up to your house. So It was such a cool experience. We went halibut fishing because that's what you do in Halibut Cove. You go halibut, cod, and salmon fishing. It's not really salmon season right now or when we were there. So we did a lot of halibut fishing.
So
and
I saw
cod
that
fishing.
Colin caught a really big
Colin
halibut.
caught a 55-pound halibut, and his dad caught a 32.5-pound halibut. Their lines pulled at the exact same second. I
Just
mean,
goes off.
literally. And
Were you there?
I was there. I was reeling in a 25-foot cod when it happened.
Oh, excuse me.
25-pound cod. Excuse me, not 25-foot.
25-foot cod.
Jesus, that would be crazy.
But
yeah,
you
he
guys
caught
killed it. You guys are way better fishermen than I am.
Well, the guy that we were with, Eric, is a pro at this, and
What'd you use for bait?
we used octopus.
Okay.
Octopus.
Like
and
a whole
squid.
octopus?
Uh-huh.
Not
like,
cut up, just...
Like, I mean, pretty much
Are
a
you
whole
deep dropping
one.
it or are you trolling it?
Deep dropping it. Everything with like a weight just straight to the bottom.
How deep is it?
Where we were that day, we had a successful day. It was about 120.
Gotcha.
So it was deep. And we went, it was funny because the first day we went out, it was beautiful weather, blue skies. Alaska weather is amazing. It's blue skies. It's so amazing. And we were catching probably, 15 pounders. And a lot of them we were filling up
Wow,
a
I mean,
cooler.
that's
we were
not
catching a
terrible.
lot, right. But out there in Alaska standards, I mean, the guy that we were staying with was letting us keep them rather than throw them back, and he was going to cut them and clean them for us. But for Alaska standards, that's nothing, and they wouldn't
It's kind of
even
like when you
waste
go
their time.
charter fishing here and like, oh my God, you caught a little snapper, take a picture of it.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah, exactly. So he was sort
Got
of
it.
humoring us. But then when we went out the next day, it was overcast. The tidal change was very different. It was raining a bit. And that's where, I mean, it was so insane, the things that we were catching. So thankfully,
Wow.
we didn't want to put that on the guy we were staying with. So we dropped it off, obviously, everywhere in Alaska in these places.
Yep.
You can go to these places on the pier and they will clean it, they will fillet it, they will do everything for it. So
Filleting halibut, which is kind of in the flounder family, it's different. I've filleted it before,
Yeah.
and it's not like filleting a regular fish.
No,
it's,
and
it's like you have to do like simple.
you have to
like
do these
4
certain
different cuts.
You have to do that. And then also with the cod that we caught, because they were so big. And obviously I was like, I want the cod to come home if everybody gets to take the halibut home. Apparently cleaning and filleting cod is very difficult too. There's so many bones and it's a lot more like labor intensive.
Yeah.
So they were like, perfect. So Colin's parents, I think the good thing was that Colin's dad caught something as well. So we were sort of able to like grease the wheels. Like, hey, mom and dad, it's really expensive to ship this because you have to overnight fish from Alaska.
So did you really send it to Florida?
I can show you a photo. I have currently right now I have 23 pounds of vacuum sealed fish. I will bring you a bag.
I was gonna say
next
you didn't
week.
even bring me
I
a
didn't
bag.
even think about it. I didn't even think about it.
Are you freezing it?
Everything, yeah, it came
Yeah.
frozen, so we just froze it. All vacuum sealed, and like I have halibut and cod, so I will bring you a
Well,
bag.
Colin,
next
if you're
week.
listening,
He'll trade you a hat for it.
I was gonna say, or you could just, for what I'm gonna do for the Yeti cooler, you can submit your submission, and maybe you could bring it up in the Yeti cooler. Man, that's awesome.
It's awesome. It was really cool. So
Man.
I'll be having fish. For
I
a
don't
while.
have any frozen fish. I'm terrible.
I
at
will
fishing.
bring you. I will bring you.
All right, so you leave Halibut Cove and you
So
go
we
where?
left Halibut Cove. We went back to Homer, and this was the end.
Now,
of
did
my
you eat
trip.
it? Did you eat the halibut?
Oh
Cove?
yeah. We ate halibut that we had caught. We went to a mussel farm, which was right in Halibut Cove, and we got like 10 pounds of mussels for $20, and we cooked all those. That's what we did on 4th of July. Was we had halibut and mussels.
Sounds terrible.
It was really.
What do they use? So obviously seafood's really fresh there. What do you do for sides there? What do they?
They're really big into pretty much everything that you would eat everywhere else. As far as they get a lot. It's very cool. Like I was not aware of how the summer there, because there's so much daylight, how lush and plants grow and vegetables and fruit and things like that. So a lot of stuff grows really, really well there. So farmers markets are very popular. Things that I would never think about. I thought Alaska was just going to be covered in snow.
Yeah.
So we ate a lot of vegetables.
And photos
out
of Sarah
there.
Palin everywhere.
Yeah, right. we ate a lot of vegetables. We ate a lot of potatoes. They do
Gotcha.
things like that. And it's interesting because because I love salmon so much, I had smoked salmon every
That's
single
awesome.
day.
Now,
every single day.
Now, because it is, beautiful weather, sunlight out all the time during the summer, it's the opposite of that during the winter, correct?
It's very, very depressing in the winter from what I hear.
Got it.
I mean,
and what's the temperature like
right
throughout
now?
throughout the day.
Oh, it's beautiful. I mean,
I mean, we're wearing shorts or jeans.
we were wearing jeans. I wore workout pants a lot. It was about 55.
Oh my
It
God.
was and no humidity. So
cold.
Yeah, but not for people that are not used, that are used to that.
Yeah.
Most people, like my boyfriend's family, thought it was beautiful. I had 3 layers on every single day.
Man.
But then it rains and it could become like 30. But
Yeah.
then the rain goes away and then it could become 60.
Yeah.
I mean, it really just goes up and down. But there's no humidity, so it's like
Gotcha. Well,
Yeah.
So Alaska, would you go back?
I would go back in a heartbeat.
Wow.
It's amazing because I was there for 12 days and I did so much, and then we were leaving and I was like, God, it's such an incredible state. And I kept joking that like, a few years ago, people were, and this is just my interpretation of something. A few years ago, people, and I'm not comparing these two, people were going to like Tulum in Mexico, or people 8 years ago were going to Costa Rica and Nicaragua and saying, my God, this place is so amazing and so unspoiled. How is it the secret hasn't gotten out yet? When you're in Alaska, you feel like, wow, the secret's going to get out soon. Everybody's going to be coming here.
Right.
But because it's so difficult to travel to, people already know about it. I mean, there's international people there. We went on a whitewater rafting trip with a family of 4 from Beijing.
Wow.
Yeah, so people are from everywhere there. Yeah, it was really cool. People are from everywhere, but it feels so unspoiled, and you're there thinking, how is it people don't know about this? Everybody needs to go to Alaska.
Yeah.
And I would say that in the summertime, everybody, if you can, it's expensive to get to and you have to plan, but it is really amazing to go to. I mean, it's the most beautiful place I've ever been.
And this segment of the show is brought to you by TravelAlaska.com.
Alaska Airlines.
And then, so from Alaska, we actually had some unfortunate news from your side
right.
when you were
when
leaving.
I was leaving Alaska.
Yes.
I found out that this is very sad. I just experienced a very big loss in my life. The Monday night that I was flying home from Alaska, I found out Monday morning, the day July 6th, that my best friend passed away. She died in an accident on July 4th, and it's very sad. And it wasn't a crazy partying accident. It wasn't anything like that. It truly was just something that honestly just happened.
And this is somebody who's really close to you. This is
somebody that's like my sister. So I've experienced, so this is, I consider myself in some ways fortunate that I'm 28 and I've never really had loss before. I have friends that lost parents when they were very young and horrible things like that. So I know that, I was spared for a long time. But I think at times that's also what makes this so difficult, is that I'm 28 years old experiencing these ranges of emotion that I've never experienced before. And then also feeling like I know other people feel uncomfortable around me because they know that I'm grieving. Yeah. And so it's kind of this weird dance of everybody's saying to me, I don't know what to say. I'm so sorry. I wish I could say something. Or my girlfriend just texted me to see how I'm doing and is like, she's been keeping up with me, but she's like, I've just been trying to give you space. I hope you don't think I've been ignoring you. Yeah. And I'm not even thinking about her. I'm not even thinking about it like that. And so it's very interesting when you're going through something like this to be around people that really just don't know how to react to you.
When everything happened with my friends and stuff like that, I remember some people were I would ask, hey, why don't you come around, just say hi, just to say, see how they're doing, stuff like that. And people would say, I don't know what to say to them. Mm-hmm. And it was like, I don't know what to say. Just show up, give a hug, just show up and do whatever. And it's very difficult for a lot of people to process.
Yeah. And I think you're right about that, because for me, for example, the thing that I want, and the thing that I had wanted, was I just wanted acknowledgement of it. I think sometimes people think that, they're afraid to say something to me. They don't want to make me upset, or, am I going to just start crying? And it's not like that, but it's just, I feel so different that it's like I was saying to somebody the other day, I feel like I shaved my head and everybody's going, did you get new shoes? Yeah. It's like, I feel so different that surely I must look different too.
I don't think that's what it is. And here's what I think it is, because I experienced it previous and after that, is it's not so much of them like scared or worried about what you're going to do. It's that it makes people so uncomfortable, because it's, when you experience death.
And it is uncomfortable.
And so it's almost kind of them just kind of, glossing over it. And it's not a problem at all. I mean, it's just the way that humans work. But it's funny. This is the craziest thing to think about. Like, this is definitely like a growing phase for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what you told me.
And it's definitely like a deeper phase for you right now. And I'm not using the word blessing. I'm not using anything like that. But it's definitely like life gets real, right? Yeah. It just gets real. And then you start to kind of, it's funny because I remember when this happened, and even with this, or even like because Gina had we had a traumatic birth with Noah. But it's kind of, you start looking around, you're like, everybody's kind of going about like mindless life and worry about like cars and doing this, doing that, and like I'm in the middle. This is real life.
Yeah,
right
it really is.
It's good. It's
humbling too.
It's humbling. It's a wake up call, which is good. And it's but it's definitely it's at the time that you have to process it yourself, and it's people can help you get you through. People can help be compassionate.
Yeah. And it's been great, because what's nice is, and I know this sort of goes on with another thing that we're going to talk about, is it's kind of incredible how many people do reach out, and how many people reach out just to say, I'm so sorry, I'm here for you. I mean, I have gotten calls and Facebook messages and text messages and emails from people I don't even know, like that work with the Alternative Daily, from people that I haven't seen since college or middle school, because I've known this girl for 17 years.
Yeah.
So people that went to middle school with, I mean, it was incredible. We had her memorial and people showed up from all different times in her life. And it's very cool, just the people that reach out. And you also do realize some of who your good friends are and the people that you want to spend more time with and the people that maybe do care a little bit more. So I appreciate that a lot too.
Well, yeah, I thought about you. It was a couple days ago. One of my best friends down here, he was in my wedding. You know, when I first moved to Florida, he was the guy that we had always spearfished with, diving, snorkeling. Like every day we were in the water together. And just as life happens, you know what, we moved away from where we live, so about 30, 40 minutes away. And we always kept in touch, texting and stuff like that. But it's been probably about like a year since I've seen him. And I just, it was weird. Something hit me like 2 or 3 days ago, and I was like, I just need to see him. And so I texted him. It was probably like on Tuesday. I said, Hobie, I was like, let's do dinner. I see all your awesome photos on Instagram and stuff like that. I was like, let's just get past, talking on Instagram and social media. I was like, let's meet up. And he's like, yeah. He's like, I got a lot going on. I got this, big job for this big magazine shoot. He's the best photographer I've ever seen. I got a big magazine shoot. He was like, so let me check. And I kind of like stopped, but I felt like abrupt. Even Gina was like, you're being a bully. And I was like, I don't care. And so I was like, no, we need to meet this week just to do dinner. I have no ulterior motives. We just want to do dinner. And he's like, you're right. Let's do it. He's like, what day? And so we did, actually, funny enough, we picked a day. It was like Thursday. And I was like, all right, listen, don't back out now. Like, let's just do this. And so he did text me like 5 minutes later. He's like, you're going to kill me. I can't do it on Thursday. I was like, let's do it tomorrow. So we actually went last night.
And how was it? Fun?
It was absolutely like we never skipped a beat. It came in, gave him a big hug. I sat there and talked for like 2.5 hours.
That's
we obviously talked about, when we used to do diving and snorkeling and free diving. He still does it a lot more. He doesn't have a child. But we started.
Oh, unfortunate for him.
And he's not married, doesn't have a child. But, we were just talking about life. And it just kind of, it hit me because I was asking him, is he dating anybody now? Because we were real close to a couple people that he dated before and was married to before. But he said that he just got out of a 9-month relationship. And I was like, I didn't even know that you had a girlfriend for 9 months. And so he's filling me on that and stuff like that. And so now we did the typical thing. We left like, don't let this go too long till we do it again, blah, blah, blah. And that's all talk until it happens again. So
well, maybe now you're more motivated to do it because you guys should see each other.
It was because I just think it's, you think in your mind, well, we got a lot going on here and doing that. So, but it was so good. I'm just so glad we did it. It was awesome. He's one of the sweetest souls I've met.
That's so nice. Yeah. And it's important to do things like that because, as cliche as it sounds, anything can change in an instant. And that's what happened, for my girlfriend. And so it's like even a similar thing that I've sort of had reflection on is when I was up at my sister's visiting her in New York a couple months ago, I have a girlfriend that I kind of didn't really make much of an effort to spend time with when I was up there. I was just so caught up with being with my sister and doing this and doing that. And we saw her a little bit, but I didn't spend a lot of time with her. And I felt bad about it after. But since this has happened, she has been calling me every day, keeping in touch with me, sending me photos, doing things to really, it makes me feel like a jerk. Because I realize she's such a good friend to me. And so now it makes me not only want to be a better friend to her, but to other people too, that it's important to do those things. And so, it's a very humbling experience. It's a terrible experience. And and I know that my mindset today might be different than tomorrow, which could be different in a month. This is obviously a process. Yeah. But I'm just sort of happy that I have days like today where I'm like, okay, I feel good today. I feel strong. I can talk about it.
Yeah. And it's definitely a cycle, right? And especially in this, you're kind of at this kind of, I don't want to say a low, but you're kind of like in a certain dip. Mm-hmm. And there's dips waves, along the way, even of bigger and small dips. And so it just happens. It happens.
It's so crazy when you experience life. This is like one of those things because I don't have a child. I haven't been married. So other than those things, I'm sorry to compare death to having a child and getting married.
Okay. But all right.
But I at 28, I haven't experienced a lot of those things yet. And so to experience this, it's like, holy shit. Yeah. Excuse my language. Like I'm living now, and it's crazy.
It's humbling. It
real. Is humbling.
And not to say, again, I'm not saying it's a good thing because it's,
but I know what you're saying.
Here's the thing. When death happens, it kind of hits people everybody in the face, right? Mm-hmm. And so people deal with it a different way. And I hate to sound like one of those motivational
No, but it's true.
posters, but it's like it's how you handle it. Like it's an opportunity for everybody affected by it to kind of say, hey, you know what? There's something deeper here. You know, you know what? You know, life is real, right? And so like maybe I was concerned about getting this one car or buying new makeup, but that's fun stuff. But there's real stuff going on here. So. And it helps you later on in life because it will actually help you later in life be just more of kind of like a down-to-earth, mellow person.
Yeah, definitely. Are you saying I'm not down to earth?
Let's
move on.
Oh, man. Yeah, so I appreciate you sharing that story. I know.
No, I'm glad. I appreciate everybody that hasn't turned off the podcast yet. I know you're still waiting for your Yeti cooler.
And that's right. Everybody's sitting there eating popcorn.
They're like, damn it, change the channel.
Yes. So, well, let's do
We're going to go up. We're going to go up and now get happy.
Let's do that, and let's talk about the Yeti cooler.
Yeah.
So, as I said, the Yeti coolers are absolutely awesome. They are Grizzly proof. They have, I think, a 5-year warranty on them. Literally, you could just take it and throw it on the ground. It's fine. It's absolutely awesome. I take mine on the boat. I also take it on the boat they can't technically say this, but it's nice to have a cooler on the boat in case something happens because you can float on these things.
Oh my gosh, really?
Well, any cooler you can float on, but
I didn't know that.
It's always, but it's true. Like I've read horror stories of people being on boats, and if a boat sinks or whatever. You can actually hold on to your cooler, right, until help comes. But
wow,
I'm not trying to scare anybody and say you need to do this to save life. I'm just being the hypey marketing person saying how awesome these things are.
This podcast is not brought to you by Yeti.
No, but it's they're just really cool. Like especially during these summer months and even the fall months because a lot of people like to camp in the fall too.
Yeah.
So it's definitely really really cool to have. So here's how you have to do it. To get it's the cooler that we've been giving away. It's called the Yeti Roadie, and the Yeti Roadie is, if you had to imagine it, it's one of those things you can carry with one hand. It can hold 12 to 16 of your favorite beverages, whether it's water, whether it's beer, whether it's, I don't think it could hold 12 wine bottles, but maybe a couple wine bottles.
That's too bad. I don't want it anymore.
Probably one big box wine. But it really does keep things cold, and it's just awesome. You can stand on it. It's really durable. It's funny. I actually use it. I'm really overselling.
And I just know he's really been testing all these things out.
The one I actually got, I'm not kidding. Like Noah had this stool. They're gonna kill me if they listen to this, but Noah's aunts, Hillary and Lauren, they bought her this like really cool stool to put in front of like the sink to like wash your hands, like help do dishes, stuff like that. The thing is a bastard. It weighs like 25, 30 pounds.
Really?
Like it doesn't break down. It's like
huge.
Yeah, it's probably like 2 feet by 2 feet, but then also like 4 feet tall, and it's got like different levels and stuff like that. So I actually now just use that.
Letting Noah stand on the Yeti.
Yeah, the Yeti is just so much nicer. She can stand on there and do it. So, it's like an all-around thing for kids to stand on to do their dishes. So Yeti cooler, you can put a lot of cold stuff in there. It stays cold and it's great. So here's what you got to do to get the free Yeti cooler. You're gonna have to email Jake at thealternativedaily.com. Subject line Yeti. If anybody knows how to spell it. Y-E-T-I. Y-E-T-I. Kind of like the Sasquatch, I guess that's what the whole thing is.
Is there another way to spell Yeti?
I don't know. Good. Did you know? All right, we're just going to keep going. Jake at thealternativedaily.com. Subject line, Yeti. And then in there, so here's the deal. You have to tell me 3 non-health topics you want us to cover either on the podcast or on the website. So the Alternative Daily, we're evolving, we're expanding, things are going well for us, and we're actually going to start covering some other topics. But I want to hear it from you guys. It could be, I'm not saying you want to hear about sports, but let's just say if everybody comes back and says, LeBron James, well, then we know that everybody's interested in that. I doubt that's what it is, but so it could be anything from politics to opinion to, if you want to talk about camping stuff, if you want to talk about, what have you. Again, I hope it's not Kardashians. I hope they don't win. But if it's pop culture, it's pop culture. But, news and opinion, environmental stuff, politics, I'm fine. If people want to talk about politics, just tell me different different topics you want to talk about. You have to give me 3 in that email. So Jake at thealternativedaily.com, subject line, Yeti, And in there, say hi to me. Some people don't even say hi. Some people literally just
They're like, just give me the prize.
they're just like, free hat.
Here's my address.
Here's my address. So at least just say hi to me, please.
Yeah, come on, people.
I'm a sensitive guy. And tell me three non-health topics you would be interested in hearing us discuss and talk about on the site and on the podcast. And Colin, if you're listening, you can't do it. Probably.
Yeah, sorry, Colin.
buddy.
But I'm going to try and get you a hat.
All right. So that's how you win your
That's
free
awesome.
We're giving away two. Giving away 2 Yeti coolers.
And the value of each Yeti cooler
is $250.
And we're going to ship it to you for free because that's how awesome Jake is.
Yes.
So you have to live in Palm Beach County. No,
yeah.
just kidding.
Awesome. Very cool. So the next thing that I actually wanted to talk about was, Megan, you actually pulled up an article.
Yes, I did.
That was talking about advice for your 16-year-old self, like what you would tell your 16-year-old self. Now, what would you tell that person? Is that correct?
That's right. So this is actually really cool. There was an article that came out. I know that this isn't like a real journal kind of publication.
It's from TMZ.com.
It's from BuzzFeed. It's from BuzzFeed. Close enough. So BuzzFeed asked people, and they compiled 36 of the best ones, what they wish they could tell their 16-year-old self. So 36 people, I guess they compiled, and these were the best responses. And some of them are kind of interesting, like, stop crying over useless things. Don't take everything so personally. Don't worry about what other people think. Some of them are funny, like burn your entire wardrobe. Just burn it. You will save yourself so much embarrassment in less than 5 years from now.
That's funny.
A more adult email address would probably be a good idea. My email address was angelbaby309.
Are you serious?
Yeah. At AOL.
Is that still active? Are people going to email you?
No. I have no idea what that even goes to now. So
mine was actually...
I can't wait for this.
It was infamous. I think it's actually active too. INFAM0UZ. Yeah, I was really big into changing S's to Z's and stuff like that. But I grew up in like the AOL age.
Me too. Or you'd go to Blockbuster to get the CDs and stuff.
Before that, I beat you there too because I'm a little bit older than you.
Yes, you are.
So we were using like the floppy disks for
God.
the 3.5. They're actually called floppy and they weren't floppy, but the technical term is a floppy disk. And so I remember like AOL 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. And I was probably like in 5th grade around that time. So I may be a little bit younger than the 16-year-old self. But I remember like actually being on there. And like I remember going into my class like the next day and be like, oh my God, you guys never believe what I just did. And they're sitting there playing Pogs and stuff. And like, what? And I was like, I talked to somebody in California on the computer. And they're like, what? So I was kind of like the head of the game, like in my class and stuff, in terms of like the computers. And then you kind of got into the, I was really dorky about it. And AOL, they had what's called progs or programs or proggies. You know what I'm talking about? And it was terrible because what you could do is you could punt people offline. And the way they did that was, so you have an instant message. So if I would say, oh, hey, Megan Babes 39 or whatever it is.
Angel Baby.
Angel Baby 39. And let's just say you and I got into a fight at school. I would press the punt button on this and it would like.
Kick you offline?
It would like IM bomb you like a bunch of times with some code and then it would literally sign you off. Yeah.
You're a jerk. You're a bully. Hiding behind your computer.
And then you could also do like mail bombing. Like if you didn't like somebody, mail bomb. And it's just basically where it just sends you like hundreds of emails like a minute or something like that. But this was back in the obviously I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, there was so that was probably like my 10 or 12-year-old self.
That's so funny.
But I do remember like having to wait. Like if you got a busy signal for dial up, you had to wait like.
You have to go like, nobody use the phone right now. I want to go on the computer. And the worst part
was if you were on it and somebody picked it up
and
it would knock you offline. Oh man.
Okay, so wait.
Sorry.
What advice would you give? What advice would you give your 16-year-old self?
So not my little dorky 12-year-old
no,
self.
No. What would you say?
I'm still a dork at 16. Let's say it's 16. So at that time, okay. So does it have to be 16 or?
No, I just say teenage, high school years.
Okay, teenage, high school years. Calm down.
Calm down. Yeah, I do the same.
Calm down. It's okay. My biggest, I would say, obviously I've shared this before in other podcasts. I had a lot of anxiety. It would be to start meditating immediately
All
At
right.
16, I would say, please start meditating. But my thing was I hated school. I absolutely hated school. And so like at 16, so that puts me I was in 10th grade. I was a little bit older. So I was driving in 10th grade. And so that put me so I had about 6 years of school left if I wanted to do college. I literally remember thinking, I have 6 years of school left. This is going to be terrible. So I tell him to, calm down and meditate. I mean, if I had to say one thing, it would definitely be that. And don't smoke cigarettes.
Yeah, it's not cool.
Don't try it. Don't get into it. It sucks.
I would tell my teenage self, wear your retainer because you're going to regret it. Now that I'm older and I've got a little snaggle tooth, I would say wear your retainer. And I would also have told myself, this is kind of silly, but I'm very proud of where I went to college and how I did in college, but I could have worked harder in high school to maybe have had more options when I did go to college. So I would have told my 16-year-old self maybe stop smoking so much pot and start studying a little bit more. Sorry, should I not say that?
16, jeez. You're
I got it out of my system
early bloomer.
I got it out of my system early. I would say, work a little bit harder in high school so you can get into a good college.
Where you went to college was not terrible.
No, I went to a good college, but I did not get into my first choice school.
What was your first choice?
I don't want to say it.
Okay. Why?
No, I don't know why. I wanted to. No, because I'm proud of where
Because I'll tell you
where
my first choice was.
And you didn't get in?
No. I wanted to go to Notre Dame or Pepperdine.
Oh, those are really good
And
schools.
exactly. But that was like in 9th or 10th grade, which is about, so I wanted to go to Notre Dame. And I'm not kidding. I'm not even telling the story to ham it up. But I was in 9th grade. I actually went to a Catholic school. In 10th grade, I went to public school. In 9th grade, the teacher came in and she was like, what do you guys want to be when you grow up? The typical thing. And I was like, oh, I want to go to Notre Dame, and I also want to be the leprechaun mascot. And she was like, oh, that's funny, Jake. You know what? And really, what do you do? And I was like, I want to go to Notre Dame and I want to be the leprechaun mascot. That's what I want to do with my life. And she was like, Jake, that's enough. Everybody's laughing. We get it. Third time. And if you say the same thing again, you're going to have to leave the classroom. And I was like, I forget her name. I actually do know her name, but I'm not going to say it. And I was like, Miss Smith, my parents told me I could do whatever I wanted when I grew up. I want to be the leprechaun at Notre Dame. And she's like, go out in the hallway now. Got detention and everything for it.
Really?
Yeah.
And you were being serious?
I was being 100% serious. And then I realized after that, because she said something along the terms of, you don't pick colleges like you pick high schools. You have good grades. And I was like, you just crushed all my dreams.
Yeah.
So it was Notre Dame and Pepper. The cool reason I wanted to go to Pepperdine was it's like literally on the beach. I remember like looking at the website when I was little and I was like, oh my God, the website is,
they must go to the beach every
it's
day.
on the beach. I was literally just picking it from the cool football team and then just being on the beach. And then I realized and she crushed all my dreams. You literally have to have good grades to get in. You just can't pick it like you pick high school. So, so I ended up at a small school in Virginia. What was that?
I definitely should have worked harder in high school to have more options for college. I went to a state school and I was very happy. I had to stay in Florida, but it wasn't my top Florida choice for school. Now in hindsight, I'm glad I went there. I'm very proud. But at the time, being young and being disappointed, it's like, it was like my first.
Can I tell you something? Obviously, I don't know if you want to give away where you went to school. Where I went to school was in a place called Farmville, Virginia. And I'll even tell you, it was a place called Longwood University. I got in quite a bit of trouble there. But I specifically remember senior year watching a certain Florida football team playing the University of Florida. And we were literally sitting, it was probably so those games usually happen towards maybe November or something like that. We were literally sitting on my bed, me and my roommate, my best friend Dishner, cuddled next to each other because it's cold as hell in Farmville, Virginia, drinking natural light, and we literally look at each other like, what the hell are we doing in Farmville, Virginia right now? Look at these kids in that state school versus University of Florida. I was like, why aren't we down there? Look, they all have nice tans. They all are warm. What are we doing? So you did not have it bad.
No, I went to an awesome school, but it was just at the time I had thought I wanted to go to the other state school. And so I didn't get in and I was disappointed. And so I vowed to myself, okay, I'm going to go to college and I'm going to study so hard. I thought at the time maybe I'd go get to, master's degree or something, which I did not do. Just thank God.
That's right. You wouldn't be right here.
No, I would not be right here.
Who
wants to be a professional? But I resigned myself to the fact that I was always going to work hard so that I would never get disappointed.
Did you work hard in college?
I worked very hard in college.
See,
I graduated magna cum laude.
Oh, excuse me.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
What number were you?
Well, What was my ranking, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, like, I mean, in the communication school, I was like in the top 50.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah. I did really well. Right. So that's what I'm saying is I wish I would have known at 16 years old that it's more important to do better in high school than it is to do in college, because you don't put your GPA on a resume
I
now.
know, yeah.
My boyfriend was like, look, when he was applying for jobs before he got the job that he has now, he like had his GPA on his resume, and I was like, what the hell is that?
You can take that off
there?
now.
Yeah, you're good. Okay. You don't have to send him a transcript either.
See, my first 2 years, I played college soccer, and my first 2 years were absolute terrible. I never went to class, partied, and just played soccer. That was all I did. Like, really. And I remember, like, waking up, like, one day, just, like, not feeling well. And, like, my teammates went to class that morning, and I didn't. I'd slept in, and he came back in and said, hey, I forget it was, like, psychology. She was like, she said today that if you missed more than 5 days, people were going to fail, so you should probably go check in on that. So, like, I went in there, and I was like, oh, my God, how do you have me down for absence for this semester? And she's like, I only have you down for 3. And I'm like, perfect. I went every day after that.
Good.
But it was like, it's just like a slap in the face. But still, like, my first 2 years were just really bad. It was just like soccer and partying. And then, like, my third year hit, and I was just kind of like, wait a second, I can't do this for the rest of my life. And so, funny enough, like, my really bad GPA freshman and sophomore year, like something like 2 or whatever. If I'm not calculating my whole GPA, but my GPA for my third and fourth year was like 3.8.
That's great.
So, like, it was like really bad, and I was like, slap in the face. I gotta do something, because I don't want to stay in Farmville, Virginia for the rest of my life. So
of course not.
Yeah. So
Good
I tell 10 to 12-year-old Jake,
Don't be an online bully.
Actually, don't be an online bully, but you never know. Maybe you should have a career on the internet. So keep it up, but just quit punting people offline. 16-year-old, hey, start meditating, calm down, and then college Jake, you know what? Start focusing a little bit more on school. So
at least a little bit more in the first year.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's kind of interesting. So hopefully you guys out there can reflect on what you would tell your 16-year-old self. I would also tell my 16-year-old self to stop crying over that stupid ex-boyfriend, because they only get worse.
I cried over girlfriends. Guys, I remember my freshman year, like, I had like a high school girlfriend that we kind of dated going into college. She was a year ahead of us. And
an older
the same guy that I was, at my roommate Dishner, we were sitting there watching that football game. The same guy, we lived together all 4 years. I specifically remember both of us, not at the same time, but both of us bawling over our girlfriends who had just, like, dumped us or whatever.
Aww.
I remember him, like, on the phone, on his, like,
flip
old
phone,
Motorola or, like, Nokia phone, like, banging his head on the wall, just crying, like, oh my God. And then same thing with me when my girlfriend broke up with me, like, I just threw the phone, jumped into bed, and started crying. We were very emotional guys.
It's nice to know there are men out there that are in touch with their emotions. There's not enough of you.
I know. So
Changing gears. Taking a hard left.
Yeah, taking a hard. Well, it's sweet like Jake is. Honey.
Sweet.
Bam.
Nice transition.
Thank you. So we actually had a contest 3 weeks ago in which we were going to give away a free bottle of Manuka honey, and we have our 3 winners. I'm not going to say your last names, because I'll contact you directly. So I will actually read our 3 winners.
We asked everybody to submit their health story or a little bit about themselves and how health has sort of affected their lives in a positive way.
Yep.
And so just so you guys know what he's going to read are some of these
All
stories.
right. So first one is Greg. Greg says, and Greg actually emails me quite a bit. He participates in these contests. So
all right.
thanks,
Thank
Greg.
you, Greg.
So Greg, here's what he says. I'm going to read it in Greg's voice. I was taking the driving test for a motorcycle license, and the last part was to get the bike up to 20 miles per hour and then apply brakes and stop within a 15-yard area. The bike slid out from under me. I kept my balance, but the left pedal got bent. I reached down to straighten it out, but grabbed the muffler by mistake. That's probably the terrible thing to grab. Yeah. My entire right hand was burned from palm to fingertips in a second or less. After a painful 20-minute ride home, my wife suggested ice, but I went straight to the computer and Googled holistic cures for burns. At this time, I had burn boils almost covering my hand. Similar like what actually happened to Noah, but this might have been hotter with the muffler.
Yeah.
Honey was one of the first things I got as an answer, and had just acquired a jar of Manuka honey weeks before. We didn't have the Manuka honey when Noah burned her, so good for Greg. I smothered my hand in it and wrapped a baggie around my hand so it didn't stick to everything. Literally in 2 days, my burn was gone, healed. The nerve damage remained for a couple weeks, but I kept applying honey at night when I slept, and the nerve sensitivity was gone after 2 weeks. To have something like that gone after 2 weeks is amazing.
That's scary, yeah.
My son, and he goes into another story real quick. My son has healed MRSA on his leg. A business associate had a spider bite on his forehead and was terribly swollen, and the Manuka honey helped him within 2 days.
That's incredible.
Yeah. So I think he was actually saying, the MRSA has actually helped his son too. I tell lots of people about Manuka honey, and yes, it's very expensive, but it works. So Greg,
congratulations.
Yeah, good job, Greg. We gotta restock your thing from touching those mufflers. So you win a jar. Next one is Jonathan. Jonathan says, it's kind of cute. I like it. My ma, M-A. Reminds me of Ralph talking.
Yeah.
My mom was diagnosed with breast cancer about 4 months ago. Since then, I have researched so many things and really changed my lifestyle with what I eat and what I put into my body. I found videos and such and showed my mom these, and because of my research and new knowledge, and also my grandfather's knowledge of these things, she has been going through chemo and been called the poster child for chemo patients. That's awesome. She hasn't felt the effect of the chemo in a bad way as much as most do because of the way she eats and the natural things she takes. Thanks, Jonathan. That's awesome,
That's
Jonathan.
great. Best of luck to your mom.
Absolutely.
Too.
And I know that it's tough for people when they're, going through chemo, because that's a tough decision to say whether you're going to do it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And if you make the choice to do it to clean everything up, you're giving your body the best shot when you do stuff like that. So, Jonathan, Manuka honey coming your way. And lastly, we have Lisa. Actually, we have 2 dudes and one lady, Lisa. My health story really is I just really like this one. This is really cool.
I know you did.
My health story really is just living a healthy way for 52 years,
Wow.
being the best example that I can be for 6 adult daughters and their others, and now 5 granddaughters.
Can you imagine if you had 6 Noahs running around?
Absolutely not.
What a dream, huh?
Absolutely not. As I said, in the middle of when she has a tantrum, or whatever, I look at Gina, I was like, can you imagine having one more doing this? And she was like, stop. And I'm like, I couldn't do it. But hey, there's always great times too. And so we go back to Lisa. Always wanting to learn new health tips to continue a good example of healthy eating, exercise, and strong faith. So there, Lisa, thank you for sharing that, because that's awesome. Because, it's just the whole healthy living lifestyle is everything.
Mm-hmm.
So just enjoying life, eating healthily,
mental health, spiritual
health, whatever you want to do. So awesome. So 3 jars of Manuka honey coming to the 3 of you guys. Thank you so much for participating. I appreciate that.
And remember, for the Yeti cooler giveaway, what we're doing this week, you have to email Jake at thealternativedaily.com. Subject line is Yeti. And then you have to not only say hi and talk to Jake
please say hi
in the email, but you have to give 3 topics, non-health related. Politics, op-ed, sports, pop culture, fishing, camping, cooking, anything at all.
Pets. Speaking of pets, you might hear the dogs
you might
barking.
hear some dogs. Anything at all. 3 topics that you want us to cover on the podcast and also on the website, alternativedaily.com.
And you have to have 3. You can't say 2. You can't say 1. You have to have 3. And then we're gonna pick 2 of you guys to send a Yeti cooler to.
I want a whole section on hot bald dudes.
Yeah,
I'm sure
poster child right here. Awesome. Well, Megan, I appreciate you sharing your story. I know that was very tough.
No, I'm glad everybody out there was able to listen.
And then I want to throw something at you. Do you have any plans for lunch?
No, I don't.
Would you like to join me for lunch?
I would love to.
Let's do it.
Oh,
Let's
how
do
awesome.
lunch.
All right, guys, we're going to go.
Yeah, I just proposed a date to Megan on the on the podcast. Awesome. So we'll do lunch.
Awesome.
And thank you guys for listening. And like I said, next week we're going to go on one more hiatus. And then we're coming back strong in 2 weeks from now, and we're going full blown
every week. You guys are going to be getting us. So make sure to subscribe. You can subscribe on iTunes. These podcasts also air on thealternativedaily.com, and they're also on SoundCloud.com. So iTunes, alternativedaily.com, and SoundCloud.
And where else can you find us?
Please review us. Review us.
Review us, especially on iTunes, please.
Yeah.
But then where else can they find us?
You can find us on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Pinterest. Just search The Alternative Daily, and that's how you'll find us. Awesome.
And for more information on honey, you can go to thehoneybook.com. You can also go to thealternativedaily.com, sign up for our newsletter, and hear what we have to say every day. Megan, it's been a pleasure. Excited about going to do lunch with you.
Me too.
We haven't done lunch since the first time I
know.
actually interviewed you to see if you could be our personality.
So imagine what today's going to bring.
Yeah.
I'm going to be running this place.
This is awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys. And,
bye, guys.
And we'll talk to you guys later.
Take care.